So at this point, we're going to play a game called Will It Reach? I want to set the inverter in here and see if these orange cables, I have another set that aren't cut, if they will reach to where I want the inverter to sit. It almost seems to me that if I was to get two sets, I could use both long ones. So this, how would this go? Which one is which here? I think this is MG1. And then this here is MG2. And is this the one with the funky? I think the funky is that. Maybe like this. I think it's looking good. Let's bring the inverter. So I envision it kind of going in here somewhere. Maybe like up here. Looks like it's gonna have to sit pretty high up there. I still have to have room for the radiator. There is room for it, I think. Are there any plugs out there? Something like here, maybe? I got a hose outlet where my right thumb is. But what we're concerned about at the minute is, will it reach? And I think this is 2. That's MG1. We'll go here. Yeah, I think we'll reach. I think we'll reach if we just figure out how to set it down. Of course, the hood's got to close, obviously. Great. So I plan on using these 2 screws here from the front something. But what else can I use? I don't want to mount it to the transmission because that wiggles. Maybe I should work on the bracket after all that I've put off forever. Some of you purists may want to turn away for this part because we are making a tray for the inverter, and I don't think the Volkswagen engineers thought this through. So now I have to do some carnage. With this adjustable hammer. You MOT guys may want to skip this part. Oh, beautiful. Something like that. So let's spitball together this inverter mount. I'm thinking of tapping into those two bolts and maybe using angle iron of some sort. And yeah, I'm setting it on here. We don't want to tap into anything that's rubber mounted. So let me show you what I special ordered. So here's what I special ordered from our shed of stuff. This right here is probably a Chevy small block motor mount. So you put the motor in here, mount those to the block, and it just rests on there, doesn't tip over. But maybe we can cut this up and use some of it for what we need. Here we are after a brief dance with the wheel of death, and we extracted what may come in handy. Not sure if you guys can see the radiator. I mounted that last night. Pretty happy with that. And having it mounted, now I'm going to focus on the inverter again. I actually started on the inverter, then I thought, well, maybe I should mount the radiator first. Mounting the inverter is proving really difficult. The light bulb in my head is not even flickering. The gears are not turning. The hamster ran away. The issue is that we need to build something off of this mounting point, but the majority of the weight sits out there. So what do you do when this happens, when you have just zero creativity? Well, I just start doing something. So here in our organic metal fabrication facility, free range I should say, where's that piece I'm looking for? This right here is going to serve as some sort of a bracket. The nice thing about metal is we can fill the holes, we can cut this off and repurpose it. It's bent, so whatever purpose this served, we're probably done with it, and I won't need it later as some sort of a custom tool. So this is kind of maybe overkill, but it's going to go right in there. It's going to extend further than the end of this bracket right here, right? Because it's longer. This bracket is sort of lipped, and I don't want to flatten it. I probably should, but I'm gonna insert that metal in there and keep its ridge, and then try to build something off of that piece there. So today is a slow moving day, but I want to share this type of day as well, because not everything is just, your ideas are just flowing. Sometimes you have an abundance of ideas, sometimes you have no ideas. Sometimes you have to force the idea. Whoa! Easy. So I'm just gonna start cutting, drilling, welding maybe, and regroup. I don't know what that crud is, but it's coming out. Will ever see this, so it has to be perfectly clean, right? So here's our Swiss cheese design bracket. These holes will maybe get filled in, maybe they won't. So it's gonna go in here like so. Hopefully you guys can see that. We are going to shoot off some sort of a support bracket. It's gonna go on here and shoot off of this. That's the goal. I need to do what we do best, is do some holes, right? Here we go, we're gonna use a template again. We need to transfer these bolt holes, like so. We can use the dirty thumb method. Sometimes a wrench works really well. Hopefully that's gonna work for us. Okay, we've added more holes to our holy bracket already. Let's see if some of these line up. All right, so whoop-de-doo, our bracket is welded in, 2 bolts, 1, 2, and there's something to weld to. So we're gonna now work on some sort of a shelf edge here, I guess, and go from there. So I fandangled something I'm gonna show you. I tacked this bracket on here and I'm going to weld that in there and then see what we can do off of it. I'm thinking something like this, maybe, you know, for some double-sided support. Maybe something like that. We'll see. Okay, so now I'm gonna weld this for good. See what happens. As we say around these parts, progress, not perfection. So let's see if this still sort of fits. Okay, I'm thinking something like that. Mechanics need to evolve into 3 arms for sure. Oh, heck yeah. Hell yeah. Man, if that was only longer. And then we need to figure out a section here. And this could work. Wonder if it's slanting down a bit, but I don't care. So things are going really well, and I decided to get a little cute, and I'm raising that angle iron just 1/8 of an inch, and I'm putting a little washer here because I'm gonna weld in a nut in there, and so I'm raising it 1/8 of an inch, if that, maybe a 1/16. Pretty sure I'm gonna pay for it. It's gonna be a mistake and some sort of adjustability, but. It's slanting down, good enough for me. Yeah, that'll work. guessed it, wax off. And the fugly can only get uglier, but we press on. Okay, wax on. That's not going anywhere. So I hope to have it secured here, here, and here. We're gonna work on the last part now. Okay guys, I'm not done welding this inverter bracket, but I have to show it to you because this thing was designed by Mr. Tetris himself. I'll give you a better light here. Come here, you. Look at this thing. What in the hell is this? Get out of here. Ground. What is that? I mean, look at that sexy weld right there. That's nice. It's gonna be hidden, but it's there. Yeah, think about only 71% of dads agree this isn't going anywhere. But, oh my goodness. So, mounting points are gonna be where this blue thing is, at the tip of that doodad, and at the edge of that doodad. Is it raining? Oh, I gotta put my tools away. I'll be back. As the night falls, just in case here, reporting live from the Good Enough Garage. Greg is done for the night, but I just want to bring you an update. We have the inverter positioned, not quite mounted yet. It's not secured. It's sturdily resting on its Tetris bracket. But look at that. That almost looks like an EV. Pretty impressive. The guy does good work despite his silliness. The radiator is in. We're going to be playing around with the water pumpulator and its container, debating if we want to run the Rabbit killer thingy or this guy. We could shove him somewhere in there and plug with this. Let me try that. So to finalize this inverter mount, what I need to do is weld up some mounting ears to secure the inverter down. You can see that there's a couple ears already on the inverter that we can tap into that angle iron below, and then there is one here that's actually going to go to the frame or the chassis with a welded in nut. Hopefully that will hold it. I think securing it in 3 places should be good enough. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Weld something up, give it some sort of a idea. So I plan on using these squishy nuts in this hole to hold the inverter. I don't have too much faith in this, but we're gonna give it a try. Okay, so I drilled a hole. This thing should drop in there. Maybe I'll need to tap it with a hammer. And then I just plan on setting it the old-fashioned way, just put an impact on a regular screw and hope for the best without any special tools. assuming I can find that screw again. Oh, is that sheet metal that thin there? That was surprising. So let's start it off by hand. Well, that's it. That will do it. Now I'm gonna use these hole punch thingies to set my other holes. That looks not even close to being straight. Let's see how that looks. That hole had to be enlarged, so it's not really perfectly roundish. There's this one. So we're gonna have to wax on, wax off those guys and drill some holes. Remember where I put this? We are sort of lazy, sort of efficient, so we're gonna drill on the vehicle. Son and I are going to get sushi tonight, so, you know, Friday afternoon labor. This drill bit is dull. It has to be. Okay, we're gonna step these up. I probably will weld a nut on the back side. Not sure yet. This is 1/8 of an inch. I'm not sure that's enough to tap, so. Try this guy. It's tight, and usually on something like that we like to make them a little bit more looser. So here's one of the bases I'm working on. I don't like how much free play this thing has, so I'm gonna make some sort of a spacer for it. Same with this guy. I'm gonna give it some sort of a tubulature to sit in. So let's work on that. So here I'm about to weld on these pedestals, and it's gonna be this type of pedestal, and this nut is going to be welded on there permanently so that I have something to bolt that into. Actually, I'm glad I looked at it, because that is standard and I probably need a metric, so maybe I'll just bolt on the top today. Making spacers, y'all. So this saw says clean cuts, ready to, run and install. What do you guys think? You know, does that look like, where am I? They're all the same, guys. It's all nonsense. You gotta clean this, you gotta deburr it. So I want to show you what separates the amateurs like me from the wannabes. See how I put a spacer here so that this bracket just doesn't hang in the air? And really the inverter will rest on this spacer. Anyway, we want our inverter resting on these spacers and not just on its pan. So ideally the pan will slightly hover. Gentlemen, I want to show you something because you cannot make this shit up. So I literally just made the final weld on our fugly bracket. I don't know what this is, but we're gonna call it the inverter bracket, okay? I welded on some nuts on the back of the risers, and those welds look horrid because even though my gas is on, it welded as if there was no gas flowing. So here she is. We're standing in front of the car. It's gonna look like this. Little pedestal so that the inverter doesn't hang in the air or sit on its pan. But as we take this freshly welded bracket to the car to put it on for the final time, I want to show you something. Looky, looky. Look what just arrived. A package from Italy. Fragilia. So I'm gonna do one of those unboxing videos I swore I would never do, because hey, Norton VPN ain't gonna pay for itself. Okay guys, sky is blue, the birds are chirping. Let's attempt to mount this fugly inverter bracket for the final time. Final for the pre-assembly situation, because we are going to take it off and media blast it and powder coat it and chrome plate it. I am always amazed how it never fits on the final assembly. Okay, one screw went in, one bolt. Let's see if this one will go in. You know, these bolts went in there 48 times already, but now, are they gonna have an attitude? Oh yeah. This is supposed to be the easy part. Now with my genius design, I can't use impact on this other bolt. Super, right? It's too tough for my fingers, but it's too easy for the ratchet. Let me bring you in here so you can look at this monstrosity from the bird's eye view. Okay, so it's going to mount to the frame here so that not all of the force, pressure, whatever is on the bracket. This is super sturdy. I know it's only mounted here. You know I underbuild, so don't tell me to do a pedestal here and triangulate it with some trusses, you know? Because I agree, I should, but I'm not going to. Okay, so I'm gonna put you back on the tripod. But that's what she looks like, you know? That's what she looks like. Fugly as all hell. But, man, this is strong. I mean, it's bolted to where the bumper goes. Come on now. All right, we gotta make sure 3 holes align. What are the odds? What are the chances? If I was a betting man, I would bet against myself. I'm just saying. Holy shit, this might work. Okay, that's 1. Going for 2. Oh my goodness, 2 is in the hole. Threading in. Let's see if we can do 3. Oh, wait, what? No way. No way the Greg could be this good. No way. Ah, this one's gonna fight me in. I have no reachability. Perfect. That's just great. I don't understand why it won't start. It looks good. I don't want to strip those threads. Come on, you. This one's in there. I think because I welded those nuts, you know, I should have had a bolt in there. Yeah, it's going. I think I should have a bolt inside the threads. I know better. I should have, but I didn't. So I think that's what I'm paying for right now. Now I need 9-foot extensions. Oh yeah. Okay, I think this bolt is slightly too long. So this would require some washers right there. I'm just gonna borrow some of those fender washers and then later look for them. Oh, forgot about you. That's not going anywhere. Oh, that's good. Wow, I like it. Fellas, she's in. She's in and she's sturditized. Nice and sturdy. Nice and sturdy in there. Secured in 3 spots. 1 here, 1 there, 1 here. Now from factory, there was a bracket right there as well. So, you know, one could maybe tap into the fender wing bolts, whatever, or build something off of here, or one could just ignore it. So yeah, inverter is in, and no sooner do we get that thing in that the cables arrived, I think, for the charger that will determine where the charger can sit to reach the charge port. So we're gonna open that next.